Guys, how's it going? Thank you for stopping by again. Today we're going to talk about buying mistakes. We've all done it. We've all bought some watches that we get home and we say, what the hell did I just do? Or you think you bought something and you got the deal of your life and something happens to that brand and suddenly from being worth this much is being worth this much and then being worth this much. So today I'm going to give you guys one of my biggest mistakes that I've done in the watch dealing business, and I've done a few. I've done a few, but this one, this buying mistake, it's gonna cost me into the thousands. And I know that business has ups and downs, and some you can make money. Sometimes I've always said it, breaking even. It's not breaking even. It's not losing money, but it's not making money. So sometimes breaking even it's a good thing, but when you gotta cut your losses, and sometimes these losses are very big, it is not good. It is not good. And here I'm going to show you guys one of the watches that I bought. I'll give you a little bit of the story on the watch and how I got hurt buying with emotions and not buying with my head and not I did my research with this watch. I did know what I was getting into, but um, it it just got quickly out of hand with the price drop on these watches. So I'll show you what it is. I'm going to show you the watch right here, and I'm going to put a picture up here. So yeah, it's a Breitling. It's a Breitling Super Ocean Yellow Abyss and chronograph with an ETA 7750 heavily modified ETA. Beautiful watch. This watch is made in 2011. If you take out the lugs, it'll give you the month and the date it was done. So if you take out the band in between the lugs, it's gonna give you the month and date. I bought this watch in. It's made in 2011. I bought it in 2014, almost 2015. So I paid $3,000 for this watch. This watch retailed for $7,000. Okay, 68.80 something. So I bought it at 50% off. It was an older watch, but it wasn't a real old watch. They were still selling like crazy for over 4 grand when I bought this watch. So I got the call that the watch was in stock, no box and no papers. That was the only caveat on this watch. So I said, okay, I could still sell it for hoping I could make $500-600 on the watch. I go look at the watch. The watch was in mint condition. It had all the extra links. It had the booklet, but it didn't have, like I said, the box and the papers. So I pulled the trigger. I paid 3 grand for the watch. I paid 3 grand for the watch, and I liked it. And one of the mistakes I do personally, I try not to do that often. If I buy a watch and I'm gonna put it up for sale, I try not to wear it because if I wear it, I kind of fall in love with it, and then I'll end up wearing it for a month or two, and something could happen to the value of that watch or those watches in that month or two. So I should just try to grab it, snatch it, and sell it. You know that should be my motto, but it's not. I buy so many watches a week that I'll find one that I like, I'll wear it, and all of a sudden I'm wearing it or I keep it in my watch for 5-6 months. So that was the case with this one. I could have sold it a week later and made a solid $500 on this watch, and I didn't do it. I was enjoying it. I was liking the watch, and boy, did I pay the price. Something happened to Breitling, like I said in the beginning. Something happens to the brand, something happens to the watch. Uh, they're all of a sudden not in demand anymore. And when I bought this watch, the hype of watch collecting was starting. It was like snowballing to this big thing that it is now. And 2011 was like the middle of the snowball where everybody was trying to get anything they could get their hands on cheap, way under retail. So 2011 was not 2011, 2014 was a good year for the used watch market because we started selling watches that we would have bought a year or two ago, like Datejust. I would never pay, like the one I'm wearing right now. I would have never paid $800 for this watch, and all of a sudden I was getting $2,100, $1,900 for a watch that that I probably had in stock for a few months, and I paid $800. So it was a good time, 2014, for the watch market, for the used watch market, not for the new one, for the used. Um, and that's what happened to me with this watch. I wore it. I said, oh, I'm going to put it on my wrist for a few more weeks. And all of a sudden, something happened to Breitling. Breitling started falling and falling and falling. And they started discounting more and more and heavily discounting. All of a sudden, you could buy this watch, brand new, box and papers, everything, whatnot. You could buy it for, I want to say, around $4,200. So you could catch a deal for around $3,500. Remember, that's what I could have sold it a few months earlier if I wouldn't have put it on my wrist and worn it. I could have sold this watch quickly for $3,500 and make a quick $500. So now if I want to get out of this watch, I have it on my eBay. I refuse to cut my losses. This is one of the watches that I hate to lose money because it's such a well-made watch. It's such a good watch, but I'm going to have to auction it if I want to get rid of it and just close my eyes and see where the auction takes it. But it's one of the watches that I shouldn't have even put on my wrist. I should have sold it right away, and and I didn't, and I'm gonna take a big hit on it. And I could honestly recognize that I bought it with my emotions because when I saw it, I liked it so much. It competed with the Sea Dweller, not with the Submariner. It competed with because it's so thick, it's so chunky, you know. And what is it, 1600 feet water resistant. It it was just a beautiful watch. And I wasn't that big into Rolex then, so I was into the other brands. They were making me much more money, other smaller brands, and and Breitling was one of those. But this watch, like I said, I kept it, I wore it, and I'm gonna pay big time, big time for me to sell this watch right now. If I'm lucky, if I get $2,200, $2,300 out of this watch, and I'm saying I'm really lucky because Breitling has taken a few wrong turns, and I mean, there's nothing I could say about Breitling and the way they're handling their business that's any good. You know, the new the new models of watches that came out, they're nothing spectacular, but it's not just Breitling right now. It's every brand. Every brand. Nobody cares too much about them. They're all soft. You could leave me a message down here. I just bought an Omega. I just bought this. Every brand is soft right now, but Rolex. Nobody wants anything but Rolex. Rolex, it's dominating the market big time, and it took over all the novice collectors. Once it took out all the novice collectors, it took out all the dealers. Why? Because that's where the money is right now. That's where we could make, a little bit more money on Rolex. Before you couldn't make money on Rolex for the life of you. Now it's Rolex, Rolex, Rolex. So if all dealers, if you take them a watch like this, they don't even want to look at it. They want Rolex. That's all they want in their showcase. Use Rolex. Rolex with a premium, Rolex with this, but nobody's looking at Omega, nobody's looking at Breitling, nobody's looking at IWC. I mean, all these other brands, they're soft. Panerai, you could get them at a deep discount right now, and I got stuck with one. So I just wanted to make this video, guys, to show that not not everybody does everything correctly. Even me that I'm in the business, I'll screw up not once, not twice, a bunch of times. But it's hard to take $1,000 loss. So that's what's going to happen to me with this watch. So guys, what do you think? What have you bought with emotion and not with your head? And how bad have you gotten hurt in a watch purchase? So guys, let me know. Leave your comments down here. Thank you so much for stopping by, and do all the YouTube goodie, like subscribe, hit the notifications, do all that for me, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next.